And we're living through a huge culture shift, and I think there's an enormous opportunity for businesses to gain market share and to really recognize massive upside within their businesses. Nielsen's is very interesting to me. The people who do the ratings. Do you guys know there's 114 million households with televisions in the United States? Yell this out. How many boxes, Nielsen boxes, are active right now judging TV ratings? What do you got?
0.
That would be awesome.
2,000.
So you guys are in the zone. You said 2,000? 1,200? That's right. It's a little bit more. 25,000 boxes represent 114 million homes for Nielsen ratings. The consumer brand industry spends hundreds of billions of dollars against those ratings. The biggest conversation you're going to be hearing right now from a marketing standpoint is that everybody's going to be fighting Google TV. The reason this whole Google TV thing that you're going to start seeing rolling out this quarter are going to be bought is because they're going to bring true metrics to television. So all of a sudden, there's 4.9 million people that watch Desperate Housewives are actually 2,700. And so that's a very interesting play for me. Culture shifts are massive. How about outdoor media? Do you know that people buy outdoor billboards based on the fact some dude went on a tall building, counted how many cars drove by for an hour, and prorated it? That's your impressions that you're buying? I don't know about you guys. Not only are people not looking at outdoor media anymore, I don't know if you guys are driving lately. I'm kind of scared to be on the road. People aren't even looking at the road. People are hanging out texting. It's getting scary out there. Oprah's right about this. I'm just saying, real quick, it's scary. So we're living through the biggest culture shift that we've ever had, in my opinion, for the consumer. And more importantly, there's more dollars and cents available than ever. It is a massive collider. It's a huge culture shift. And I'll be really honest with you, it's really kind of frustrating because people don't think it's going to impact their business. What I really hate, especially in a lot of our consulting sessions, we've got some big consumer brands. We deal with PepsiCo as a client, Campbell's is a client, that's an old school brand. And the people who were like, I didn't grow up with this, right? So I don't understand it. Well, you didn't grow up with driving either, and you figured it out. I mean, the lines in the sand that are happening from the marketplace are stunning, and I think that I'm really fascinated by people figuring out this notion, which is, from the beginning of time till 1998, the amount of data that was created by human beings. So everything we've done, every book we wrote, every movie we made, every song produced, every television show, everything. Everything we did from the beginning of time to 1998, content-wise, is now being created every 48 hours. That's a ton of shit being thrown at us. And filtering is very difficult. People are now watching TV with a phone and an iPad and a laptop while watching TV, and it's getting very difficult to reach the end consumer. And no matter what you do for a business, reaching the consumer, marketing itself, is about to get really hard. It's about to get really hard. So what is going to happen? What's going to happen is, people are going to look back at, by the way, what's going to happen is, people are going to look back at Amazon buying Zappos. How many of you here have shopped with Zappos.com, bought shoes or anything else? Raise your hand. How many of you, and no lies today, have never heard of Zappos.com? Raise your hand. So, Zappos.com is a company that started off selling shoes and recently sold to Amazon for $1.2 billion when it's all said and done. Tony Shea, the CEO, is very progressive. Huge, huge culture play. They really focused on customer service. When you called, they rewarded people that stayed on the phone the longest, not the shortest. They once had employees stay on the phone for like 16 hours with somebody. So crazy. They once had somebody order pizza for a client. These kind of stories, right? While they were on the phone waiting. Can you order me pizza? Yep. On the phone the whole time. So really heavy in that culture. And what I think is fascinating is that Jeff Bezos has always been an early to market kind of character. And I think what Jeff realized, and I mark this as the point of when the thank you economy became real in my opinion. when Zappos was bought by Amazon, what I think Jeff has realized is this. Zappos was outselling Amazon, which is a much bigger brand, much more out there, has a far more attractive shipping program. How many of you guys use Amazon Prime? Raise your hand. Think about that. One more time, raise your hand. I want everybody to wrap their head around that. So, much bigger, and they were outselling them on certain SKUs that Amazon was cheaper on. And the reason they were winning was because they were beating Amazon on culture. They were out carrying them. And the fact of the matter is, context and intent is massively important to consumers. I believe that the brands that out-care in the trenches, their competitors, are going to win. I want to know what's going to happen when people start wishing happy birthdays, or answering their question, or fixing their problem, or just saying hello. When is manners going to really factor in? Because that's the small town stuff I'm seeing. I'm seeing companies being built every day because we are spending more and more of our time online. It is becoming more and more of our identity. It's who we are. Virtual goods. How many of you here bought something virtual? Raise your hand. So this is a very fascinating thing. We rock certain types of sneakers, or t-shirts, or hats to express who we are. That's how brands get us. As we spend more and more time in virtual spaces, putting up little logos in your email inbox, or on your Facebook page, or whatever's next, or if it comes or it doesn't, is going to become an enormous market. How many of you are familiar with Cyworld? Raise your hand. Very nice. Cyworld is a site in South Korea. It's a MySpace, Facebook-like site. Your profile is a room, your bedroom. You get nothing. And an empty room. The company is going to do over $1 billion in virtual goods this year by selling you virtual lamps for $6. Because you want to decorate your room. Because at the end of the day, we are very social, and we want to engage, and we want to express ourselves. And this human element is being sped up in the digital world, and there's an enormous amount of business to be done. And the culture shifts are phenomenal, because here's where you get really into interesting data. The parents of this generation, the 35 to 55-year-old generation right now, is being dramatically impacted by their children in comparison to any other generation before. We just want to be cooler, I guess. The amount of growth, because if you want to talk to your 12-year-old, you got to text. And the reason the grandma sector exploded on Facebook a year and a half ago, and is the biggest growth, is because if you want to see pictures of little Susie, you need a Facebook account. And this funnel up movement that we're seeing is very important, because all these silly things where you're sitting right now saying, my lawyers or the people I'm trying to reach, they don't give a shit about a virtual lamp. Not yet. And not recognizing that opportunity is leaving a lot of potential on the floor. So, listen, 500 million people on Facebook. And more importantly, they don't have identity. There's a new thing that I think all of you who are in any kind of B2C business that are trying to reach the consumer, make them pay for something, you better spend a lot of time right now paying attention to Facebook credits. A very substantial opportunity that is brewing. It's going to be a huge ecosystem and a lot of upside, so take that into Google it. So that's it. I think that we're living in a very intriguing time. How many people here spend money on traditional media to promote their business? Raise your hand. 3. Okay, well, it's a lot of B2B then. Let me talk about this one point because it's very fascinating to me. I think traditional media is very intriguing. My big point right now is that maybe social media isn't totally here yet for people to really spend their budgets on. I can understand how they want to justify it. The fact of the matter is, though, not layering social media on top of it is an enormous mistake right now. And here's what I mean. Don't give me the token Facebook and Twitter logo on your commercial or your billboard. That's like saying you have a phone. That's nothing more. I hate that. You see that? It's like every billboard's got like a Facebook logo. It's like, and? What I'm interested in is